This is by far the best revenge story I have ever heard. Story time. So my aunt ended up going to her ex-boyfriend's wedding. So my aunt is the disappointment of my mum's side of the family. Like, even my parents tell me not to become like her. Even my grandma hates her. And you know what that means? She is the exact type of woman I want to be when I grow up. My aunt, who we'll call Amy, is in her mid-30s now, and she's got loads of tattoos, piercings. She's always got different coloured hair. She plays the drums and she works as a bartender. So here's the kicker. So last year, after a really bad mentee bee, I begged my dad to take me to my aunt's house. I just needed my cool aunt in my life. I had just dropped out of my final exam and I was in pretty bad condition, not gonna lie. And that is when Auntie Amy told me this story. So at the time, she was dating this guy who we will call Steve. And Steve was the one. She dreamt of spending her whole life with Steve. That was until she found out that Steve was getting a little bit cozy with Susan from accounts by the photocopier, if you know what I mean. Not judging at all, Steve. And if you thought that was scandalous enough, my aunt one day gets a knock at the door. Guess who it is? It's Susan from accounts. And dear Susan is here to deliver a wedding invitation. And do you know what? It was a bold move. I admire the bravery. And that wasn't the only news she was delivering, nay. She also dropped the bombshell that Susan was pregnant. Now, this is when Amy pulled the Uno reverse card. And my aunt excitedly turned around to Susan and said, "Oh, that's quite interesting actually, Susan, because Steve's infertile." So before they split up, Amy and Steve were trying to have a baby together and they were struggling, and then they ended up breaking up. But before they did, they went to see a doctor about why they were struggling to have a baby. And the results of this ended up getting posted to Auntie Amy's house after they broke up, and it turns out that Steve was infertile. And Steve never found out this information. Poor Steve is about to have 2 bombshells dropped on him. Okay, let's come forward in time again. Auntie Amy very cordially accepts the invite to the wedding, and she goes to speak to Steve's brother, who she was still quite close friends with, and she encourages him to play a part in her revenge. So at the wedding, there is a little section called Take a Walk Down Memory Lane. So it was basically just pictures of the couple from over the years. So after a few cute pictures of the couple, a picture of Susan kissing another man pops up. Then another. And then another. Just as the bride Susan starts losing her shit, up pops Steve's infertility test results. And boy, was everybody here for the drama. Steve obviously looked utterly humiliated, and Susan began bawling her eyes out. This is what you get for messing with a woman's true feelings. Okay, so a couple of you asked for my opinions on these stories. Now, although I think this is absolutely exceptional revenge, and yes, Steve did cheat on her, could we not have revealed this at like a different time? I absolutely love the brother as well. Like, of course he wants to get involved in the drama. He must absolutely hate the bride for wanting to get involved in his own brother's demise. But yeah, let me know what you guys think.